Hi, and welcome to the Ninja Legion. I am Cecil Blade.
I'm Cliff Huxtable.
Krackpype.
And welcome to a special edition of the Console Wars, the Address of Nintendo 2014. I guess that's right.
Yeah.
the
The State of Nintendo address.
State of Nintendo address.
Yeah.
Yes.
Basically, we wanted to give them some airtime because we talk a lot about Xbox and PlayStation, and everyone seems to forget about Nintendo, except in the past, I'd say about 3 months, they've been laying the gauntlet down pretty hard.
It pretty much, in the words of P-Chan, shafump.
Yep. They whipped it out. So, they don't have Destiny. That's the hot property right now. But they've got a catalog of games in the next year and a half that definitely trumps anything that the other two next-gen consoles have coming.
Absolutely. And this is exactly why I bought a Nintendo Wii U, is because it has the most exciting lineup right now than any of the new consoles.
And it did take them about 2 years. So, I fully expect Xbox One and PS4 to have this level of, top quality content in, 2016.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with that. Absolutely. So let's start off with what Nintendo's done right now. Okay. And, of course, this predates, 2-3 weeks?
Yeah,
something like
if
that.
not a little longer.
Yeah. So first, let's go with the announcement on their focus change, because let's face it, if anybody doesn't know a little bit of Nintendo history, they've been losing money, and I mean not a little bit of money. They've been losing a lot of money. We're talking millions of dollars a quarter.
From what they were used to making. They're still
exactly.
making money, but they're losing money that they were used to having. Yeah.
Market share. I think the correct term is market share.
Yeah.
So Nintendo has decided, from instead of trying to focus on a system that is to appease the masses, they're going back to their core elite. Is that right? Pretty much.
That's what they claim. So, we always everyone criticizes Nintendo for having the same franchises recycled.
Yep.
But that's their bread and butter. And I'm sorry, I think any new, AAA title from Nintendo is worth playing for the most part.
Absolutely.
So you can't argue with that. And the fact that they have titles coming out, specifically a seemingly kind of pseudo open world Zelda for Wii U that looks gorgeous and finally really, approaches what people would have wanted from a Zelda for ages now. So that's really exciting. You've got the sequel to Xenoblade.
I'm like,
Xenogears?
Yeah, I know.
wow,
what?
This conversation's over.
For that for 10 years.
I don't know. I'm right with Krackpype. I'm like, screw this. We're done with this show.
Right, where's that at?
I'm going to camp
I
out.
know. I make that mistake all the time. It starts with Xeno, and it's an RPG. So
Yeah, no, I get it.
aside from
Side note, they're thinking about
Xenogears.
releasing the Xenosaga HD,
are they?
Oh,
all 3 episodes.
That'd be
But
interesting.
digressing, going back to.
So you've got that on the roadmap. You've got obviously a Smash Brothers coming out for Wii U in November, and for 3DS it'll be shortly. 3DS is a whole another ball game. They've been putting out AAA titles for the past year or so, if not longer.
They have.
But the main thing that we're getting at is
What they need to do with 3DS is put out warranties.
well,
We'll get to that later.
have you broken it?
No.
what
But
happened to your Yoshi?
Smash Brothers will freaking.
Oh, I know what you
we'll
mean.
freaking.
That's
You
right.
follow me now.
I see what you're saying.
There's so many controllers broken over Smash Brothers. It's not funny.
But no, the other thing that we were, aside from the titles coming out in the next year and a half, they're finally branching out into DLC, starting with Mario Kart.
Okay, let's jump right into that. Okay,
Let's talk about that.
Okay,
They
wait
screwed it
up, wait.
so bad.
I actually, to be perfectly honest, I was a little irritated at first, but from a business perspective, I think it's brilliant.
Business perspective, they got my money and didn't have to give me anything.
Well, okay, that's a different aspect of what I'm talking about right now. All right, first they introduced DLC globally, Mario Kart being the first one they really rolled it out to. Okay, but of course Mario Kart 2.0 came out 4 weeks ago now? Is it 3 or 4 weeks?
It's probably been about 2 months. You mean Mario Kart 8?
No, but the 2.0 version, when they rolled out the DLC content.
No, that hasn't even been released yet.
Yes, it has.
It's been okay. So that's what ticks me off
the
about
game.
it.
The game update if you fire up Mario Kart 8 right now, I would say version 2.0
Okay.
in the bottom lower
Yeah.
corner, which beats the release date
True,
of 1.0.
yeah.
With 2.0, they did a lot of corrections with Mario Kart 8. Absolutely happy with some.
Well, by DLC I mean new tracks and carts.
Well, exactly. So
yeah, that hasn't been released
the,
yet.
the DLC stuff, or the advertising part for DLC, was released with 2.0.
They prepped the game to receive the content. is what I'm
Exactly.
saying. Yeah.
They also fixed a lot of glitches in Mario Kart 8. So
Well, that's good. I mean,
a lot of
you
getting
know.
beaten up in the middle of the pack doesn't
Right.
happen as bad anymore. But going back into that, I think they did a brilliant job with it, because not only did a system update roll out with Mario Kart version 2.0, but when they did that, every time you fire up your Wii Pad, because that's usually how I turn on my
Yeah.
Wii U,
Mhm.
it's an ad now for DLC.
It does. Yeah, it tells you what's coming and what's out, and yeah.
I was slightly irritated with that at first, but I'm kind of okay with it, because that's the only time you see it.
Yeah.
It doesn't pop up at
you know
any
it
other
means.
time when you have the system on.
And here's the thing: for them to recoup the money that they were used to having,
Mm-hmm.
everyone's been saying for years now they either need to get into mobile devices, aka Android and iOS, for their own titles to be downloaded, since they're already being used on emulators anyway. If people could get an authentic version that was programmed well and could work with maybe an official controller, Wiimote, because it is Bluetooth, that it would be a smash hit. They'd recoup a lot of money.
Or even Nintendo release an official emulator.
That's what. Yeah. So something like that, along with DLC. So the Mario Kart 8 DLC, when in its 2 episodes, is going to include something that I said from the start of that game needs to be included is
The
an ep-
Mercedes-Benz
Wow.
vehicles.
No, that's it's just
Oh.
and not that, but that's pretty cool though. But regardless, I'm really
off the
excited.
wall.
I'm really excited about being able to use an F-Zero
Yes,
vehicle,
I am excited about
and there's
that.
an F-Zero level.
Yes, I am.
So
I am very excited about that.
Although I
that
am
aspect.
concerned that that's some sort of an appeasement that keeps people from asking
Well-
for a Wii U F-Zero.
well, sure, there really should be another F-Zero,
Yeah.
but that's
Needs to be an
besides the point.
F-Zero.
But also, Link is finally in the game,
Yeah.
which is ridiculous. So I'm excited because they actually gave content that people are excited about. I believe in total it's 16 courses because I think it's 4 new cups
It is.
in total.
It's actually 2 new cups
Okay.
and four tracks each cup.
Oh,
So
okay.
you got 8
So-
tracks.
So 8 tracks, and then it's going to be 6 carts.
Yes, 6 carts.
Well, characters. I'm sorry.
6 new characters, 3 new carts. I believe is
16 courses.
Yeah.
But I was excited. I
eight-
went and I
8
I
courses.
went on and downloaded the DLC.
No, he's right. It is 16. It's 2 cups each.
Right,
each
and
pack.
four-
You're
four-
right. No,
four
you-
courses
you're,
each
you're
cup.
absolutely
I
right.
went and downloaded it.
It's not out yet.
I know it's not. That's what ticked me off because it let me download it.
Oh, you pre-ordered
I
basically.
pre-ordered.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
paid the money to download DLC content that wasn't there yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you saved
No
money.
one's done that before.
Yeah, they did. It's a season pass.
I don't know what that
Technically, he's right. It's a season pass.
Technically, it's annoying as heck.
Well, let me throw this out there. All right, let's get into the 2 expansion packs. The first expansion pack's due out in mid-November, and that has Link and the F-Zero stuff. Really, out of the 2 expansion packs, that's the one you're going to want
That's
to get.
the one I want.
Okay.
Not necessarily. The second one has Animal Crossing content, and people freak out about Animal Crossing.
I've never played Animal Crossing, so I can't say that it's a no.
If it expands my track listing, that's fine.
Yeah, I'm definitely getting
Yeah,
it.
I'm down for track expansion. Absolutely. I'd like to see them instead of I like the F-Zero. I like this, but freaking give me a retro pack. Give me Donut Plains 1 and 2. Give
Well,
me.
I mean,
The donut
half
plains
the courses in the game are retro courses, but I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Have more retro courses.
Exactly.
But then again, we like that because we're old. But most people would be like, stop rehashing all the courses. You need to do more work and have new courses. So I mean, it's going to be.
Well, let's face
you
it.
can
It
never
is
appease
work
everyone.
Rehashing old stuff. as
Oh
well.
yeah, absolutely is work. Like Donut Plains 3.
Well, if they really wanted to embrace kind of the fan base, they should do just literally a vote, like the top. Maybe do 1 cup, like a retro cup,
Yeah.
and 4 courses. Whoever votes the 4 courses in, they get to be in the game.
No, I agree.
You know?
That's
I
an
also
excellent
don't
idea.
like a little quick side note. I don't like that they took the N64 Rainbow Road
They
and
screwed that
and
up.
turned it into a straight through
Yeah.
gate based course instead of laps.
I was so excited
That's
to play
BS.
that. When I first saw that, I was excited, and then I
Because
realized they...
let's
Yeah.
face it, because both of you,
Connected
like
together.
me, and I know the captain in the producer booth has played just about every version of Mario Kart.
Yeah.
N64 Rainbow Road by far was the hardest of them all,
Yeah.
and they totally destroyed it.
I mean, it's still somewhat difficult for someone that's not super used to the new controls,
Yeah.
because they also put speed up arrows and like the the rings that you go through
Yeah.
on the edge of certain turns, which is
With no
that's so
guardrails.
mean. No, that's really
It's
mean,
fun.
because people try to go after it and it's really fun to watch. But no, I mean the fact that it's a straight through course. I mean I like the snow level that is a straight through
I
That's
love
great.
that.
like
That's great.
gated course, but you can't take an old course and get us excited and then turn it into a ridiculously bastardized version.
No, it's got to
of-
be a
of the
long
original.
rainbow road that you do 3 times.
Yeah.
I'm
So-
pretty sure someone complained that said, "Hey, this is too long."
So that's the thing. If they brought some retro courses back, I'd actually like it if they
Keep true.
I know they want to add in the going up onto the walls, the anti-gravity aspect of the new gameplay, and jumps so you can have like the parachute come out and stuff. But still, it would be interesting to have just a pure retro mode where it was updated graphics, but it was pretty much the exact courses.
Yeah, absolutely.
Also, what they really could do to recapture some people that didn't even touch this game was a legit battle mode.
yeah, no, the battle mode's
Yeah.
pretty bad.
It's just regular courses where you just fight each other.
Yeah.
So they didn't have the actual arena style battle mode. And I didn't live off of that, although a lot of people did. I understand.
No,
But
N64
that made me
battle
mad.
mode
Yeah.
It got
made
ugly.
or broke
Friendships, absolutely.
people, controllers, televisions.
Well, that broke friendships. Some GoldenEye matches broke friendships.
All GoldenEye matches broke friendships.
So-
and NWO versus
I would
WCW.
love to see that.
I would too.
A rehash of that and GoldenEye would be phenomenal.
Well, I mean, they did actually redo GoldenEye on.
Yeah,
I know, but it didn't.
No,
Yeah, I know.
no.
Okay.
Sorry. That's how I feel about the rehash
All right,
of
so
GoldenEye.
we'll rein it back in. So the DLC though is important in one aspect that they're no, but it's very important because that's going to be extra money. And while it would have been nice to have the game originally have like 36 courses, I felt comfortable with the content they gave in the
No.
first release of the game.
DLC is great.
Absolutely.
It's fantastic.
I think Nintendo has done the right thing. They released a game that had what you expected from a Mario Kart. 8 cups, 4 courses each, enough characters, enough carts.
And I played
And
it.
then they've come around and go, hey, here's some truly additional stuff. Let's not
Right.
do what EA does and Ubisoft does and the rest of them and go, hey, we programmed this, but we're going to wait until later.
Well, the interesting thing is this is leading directly into their next generation of DLC, which is physical DLC and amiibo figures.
Yeah, I can't wait for that. I'm perfectly excited with that.
When Skylanders first came out and I saw the previews for it, I'm not saying I'm some kind of like industry analyst, but I'm like, this is ideal for Nintendo and Pokemon. First off, the fact that you could have
absolutely.
they could create, even if it was 50 of the most popular Pokemon characters that you could get into a game and you could actually interact with them in some way in a toy fashion, because they already have Pokemon toys. Now they tried it. They released, I think it was, I want to say 8. I could be way off. They released a small amount for the Pokemon Rumble game that they came out with, and it wasn't truly interactive. It was just kind of, an add-on.
Yeah.
So it really didn't stick. But when I knew Skylanders was going to be ridiculously popular, and it has been. It's been huge. I mean, you're talking about billions of dollars in that franchise.
I mean, whether it's Skylanders or even Infinity.
Right, Disney Infinity, yeah.
I can tell you right now, my 4-year-old goes into the video game section and right to Infinity.
Yeah, it's my nephew. He's 5. Instantly, he's got all the stuff. Yep.
She's never played it before, but she'll pull one off the peg and sit it on the Skylanders pad, which doesn't work.
Yes. But no, I know exactly what you're saying. The marketing behind the toys is genius, because when we were all kids, if we could have put our G.I. Joes on a plastic platform and then ran around with them in a game, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's crazy, and it just makes sense. So they're going to start doing that with a select amount of figures. They haven't really, in my opinion, truly told us what they're going to do yet. But the Wii U pad does have an NFC section. And
in the corner, in the left-hand corner.
Left corner. And the new, well, we can get into this in a second, the new 3DS and 3DS XLs that are coming out that have the little IBM nub above the main set of buttons. So that also is going to have the NFC capabilities too for these figures. The figures look awesome, so they have shown those. Like the work on them is really well done. So a lot of people collect them just because they're cool. Probably me.
They're not Figma level if you understand manufacturers of figures, but they're close.
They're pretty close.
They're pretty freaking close.
So I just don't understand the concept of them. Apparently they'll be introduced first in Smash Brothers for Wii U.
Absolutely.
But I don't think it's like where you'd have to buy the figure to play it in the game. But at the same time, someone told me it was essentially virtual cockfighting. Like you would set the figure on your pad, and someone in the room would set a figure, or maybe online, and they just kind of fight without you touching them. Now I don't know if that's real.
Now,
but
I've pretty much dove into some of the technical aspects of
please let
the
us
figures.
know about that.
You can set them up to auto fight because what the characters do learn is, of course, if I take them over to your place or vice versa,
it keeps the moveset that you choose and all that stuff.
It records your play patterns for your games.
Okay.
So what you can do is set it up on auto for online play. So let's say I'm technically offline and you're online, but you want to try to take me on. There is a pseudo autopilot that kind of matches your gameplay.
It's a ghost mode.
Exactly, pretty much. So, I mean, you can also set it to like do tournaments.
Okay.
Like, let's say if we all got together as a Ninja Legion whole and we brought 8 figures or something and said Smash Brothers tournament, register all the figures in and just say autoplay while we all drank beer and ate pizza.
Interesting. So it is virtual cockfighting.
It is virtual cockfighting to a degree.
I mean, that's basically what it is. For at least that game.
You don't have to feel bad about it.
Right. Now, one of the other games that's interesting about those figures, I could easily see the new Mario Party for Wii U, literally that being your game piece. I mean, that would make sense.
Absolutely. I mean, and it's supposed to go from game to game to game to game to game. So, any aspects, because now Nintendo's got a way to bring data from one game to another.
Yeah.
So, special items you earn in the new Legend of Zelda, and then you had Link, and you copied it over. In Mario Party, which, let's face it, Link will probably be in Mario Party as a DLC, is you could have whatever special items to make your character unique.
Now,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, and speaking of Link, the other game that is actually going to beat Mario, well, I don't know if it'll beat Mario Kart to the punch, but it's also in on the DLC game, is Hyrule Warriors. So the mashup of Destiny Warriors and Zelda by Nintendo and...
yeah, is it Bandai doing that?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Or it's at least Koei, I believe you call it.
Yeah,
that's how you pronounce it.
Yeah.
So, but their DLC already has, they already have it planned and announced. It's, Ganondorf pack, and, you can have different playable characters, which is really cool. Apparently the reviews have been very good. I haven't gotten a chance to play the game yet. I believe it is out. I mean, or at least it comes out this week, if not right now.
I think it comes out this week.
So it looks really, really good. Even though it is a glorified Destiny Warriors, but they said it is actually worthy of the Zelda franchise name. So
yeah, that's pretty big.
But
yeah.
But that will have DLC as well, which it's a perfect fit for that game. You don't need it to complete the game. If you want to have different costumes and stuff, which it still amazes me. It's not that I'm a cheap gamer, but the only DLC I've ever really, or like added content or costume, let's say DLC, that's really just cosmetic. I ended up when I was playing WoW, I bought physical plushes that gave you pets in game.
Oh yeah.
So like those. It was you actually, and it was actually for charity too, if I remember correctly. Mm-hmm. So you bought the plushes, I gave them to my nephew, and then I got the tokens in game to have the little griffin or
the little demon thing.
I think it was
whatever it was,
something like that. He was terrified of the plushes, by the way. Absolutely terrified. They had to put him in like the corner of the room.
Let's go back to the DLC for Mario Kart and to what Krackpype's talking about. The release dates.
Yeah,
for this,
I know.
You can order them now. You can order it in August.
Yeah.
Okay, but the thing is, like, you pre-order it now. You pay the full price. What
for DLC?
Yeah.
You don't. No one's ever done that.
Yes, it's a season pass, dude.
It's called
they have
season
done
pass.
It. They do. You could pre-order right now for whatever. The
Call of Duty 18.
Well, I mean, you can pre-order for The Division.
Yeah,
I bet you there is something out there, if not already, for some sort of season pass placeholder where you can pay an extra $30. It would normally cost you $40 if you bought all the DLC separate, but they're going to allow you to have all of it as it comes out.
But I didn't buy all the DLC separate. I bought it as DLC,
Right.
and I still have to wait 2 months to use it.
Exactly.
Yeah, but Season Pass works that way.
Yeah,
you
that's the way
buy
it
a
works.
year subscription,
and you get a
of free
discount for doing it.
updates.
You saved like $4 in this case by buying it together instead of separate later.
Yeah.
Okay, but I didn't buy it together.
Yes, you did. If you bought,
I bought DLC that I was intending to download now.
you're just saying you got tricked. I understand what you're saying,
It's frustrating.
but
yeah, no, I completely get it. My thing is, all right, if you're gonna do a delayed thing, call it a season pass like
Yeah.
everybody else is.
Right.
That would have been cool if
Okay.
it isn't spelled out that way.
You go, here's a year season pass for Mario Kart. Here are 3 of the packs you're guaranteed for that.
yeah,
Maybe 4.
I know what you're saying. You turned it on. You saw on the Wiimote or the Wii Pad or whatever.
No,
that-
it wasn't even that. It was advertised.
So you
whatever
went
reason.
ahead and went in and bought it, and then you were like, oh, cool, I got DLC, and then it just wasn't there.
No, it was there, but then it teased me thinking that it was there.
I see what you mean.
Hey.
So, yeah,
You can bleep that out, right?
there was nothing to bleep. So
Yeah, there really wasn't.
you
Oh,
know,
okay,
I
cool.
mean, the DLC is, let's put it this way, it's needed for their games,
Absolutely.
and I welcome
No,
it.
no, it's great. I love it. I was so excited.
Thing
I
that-
am just so frustrated that I can't use it because it's going to be so
yeah,
awesome.
because the second pack's not due out until May of 2015.
Yeah,
Almost a year after the game has been released. Now, if you
and,
did
and half a year after I paid for it.
yeah,
the DLC.
Right.
He's not
So-
gonna let it go.
look,
I'm not going
I
to let
mean,
it go because I've already paid
you,
for it.
You purchased it not August, I assume, because that's when it launched.
Oh, a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, so you paid for it in August. You gotta wait until November for the first one. I'd have been okay if you waited until January, February for the second one, but not all the way till May.
It's a little ridiculous.
That's a little crazy.
Yeah, but we'll get it and play it, and we'll have fun with it.
Yeah.
Oh, of course.
No, I'll
I
forget about
understand
it.
what they're
I'll
trying to
get
do.
over
They're
it.
trying to keep the game fresh.
Yeah,
I get that. I do.
yeah.
But don't tell me I can buy it until I can buy it.
But don't. I agree with you, Krackpype. Don't tease us and just give us Mercedes
Well, also,
to try to smooth it
The
over.
Mercedes stuff was free.
Yeah, I understand that, but that's to smooth it over. And I'm sorry, but I think that's a sellout on Nintendo's part.
It kind of is.
a little bit.
I like to see
It was more Mercedes
Luigi
being like,
driving around in
we have this new car that's really budget entry level, and
wanna-
we want to appeal
flagship
to younger people that may possibly be able to afford this, even though it's still a Mercedes. So,
Do you know what that budget car goes for?
still
Fully
like,
loaded,
I think it's still in the 40s.
44,000.
Fully loaded.
Good Lord.
Fully loaded. I'm like, yay for overrated Mazda 3.
The only way I will disagree with this choice of theirs is if in holiday 2015, they come out with the complete edition on disc
Yeah, that would piss
for
me
the
off.
same price or cheaper, and I will be pissed.
No, because they can get away with that by calling it Game of the Year edition.
I know. Well, you know what? That's the one part I don't agree with.
Well,
You know what? If you're making me buy the DLC, everyone else needs to buy the DLC.
Nintendo
Or
hasn't done
that
DLC
disc is
before.
going to be $75
I know.
when
I
they buy it.
completely agree.
That's not cool. So we'll see if they do that. They probably will because industry trends are industry trends. But it will be interesting to see if they follow through on their, appeal to more core and or hardcore gamers in the next year or two. That makes me think that Zelda is going to be extremely difficult and should be an actual long quest. I loved the one on 3DS that just came out this past year. It was one of my favorite games I've played in a long time. But I'm not very good at a lot of games. I play a lot of games, but I can't say I'm really great at a lot of games. I died maybe 4 times during the whole first quest. Now, I can go-
1,800 times.
Not Destiny raid level. So that's another show altogether.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is that game, while it was great and it was nostalgic because I remember playing Link to the Past, it's basically what is the successor to that game. And I never thought they would actually do it, so I was amazed. But for me to really get enough gameplay out of it, I would have had to have played it a full second time. And I just didn't want the story didn't change. It just increased the difficulty of the creatures. And like I said, I'm not amazing at video games by any means, but it was a pretty easy ride for me to beat that game in like 10 hours. You know what I mean? It wasn't very difficult. So I'm hoping that the new Zelda is definitely up there. And from what they show right now, unless it was a glorified cinema scene, it looks to be not only pretty open, but really good looking too.
So that means the DLC for the
exciting.
new Zelda will be a Mario pack where they just replace Link with Mario
and a Mercedes.
and Zelda.
I'm gonna
and
predict
Zelda with Peach.
No, I'll predict right now
Which
they
one?
will pick and choose their battles with DLC. I don't think they're dumb enough to
Just throw it out there.
to
massively.
destroy a game's kind of aura
Yeah.
by introducing. Now, I could see them doing
Does Link have a horse?
different costumes for Link if he is the main character, which he will be. I could see them maybe giving him alternate weapons.
Okay, yeah.
Potentially, like later on in the road, just to make it, interesting again. But I don't think they'll do anything like that, like
They
throw
won't give him a
Princess
CLK.
Peach in there,
They won't
or
give him a
right,
Mercedes instead of a horse.
change
Or
Epona
play
to
a
the
Shadow Link.
yeah.
Play Shadow Link might be interesting.
But that might be built into the game if you just beat the game.
True.
So
true.
I don't think they'll do it with every game, but Mario Kart's the game that definitely is warranted for DLC. It just made sense.
Well, I mean, let's look at Smash Brothers. Smash Brothers, of course, right now has an incredible rate of retired old main characters from other franchises.
They will reap in
But,
DLC with
And they could definitely, a lot of people are like, well, a lot of the spots are filled in on the character select screen at this point.
It's called a paging system.
Exactly. There could easily be just an arrow over to, or just one icon that just says DLC.
Yeah,
and then you could flip
exactly.
through all the characters on it.
Stock characters versus DLC characters.
And the amount of rabid people that are going to be buying that game this holiday season, basically cash in during the holidays, then in January, February, bring out a 3 or 4 pack of DLC characters.
Yeah.
That's easy money.
You're wrecking shop.
You start the first quarter of 2015 off on the right foot. So
that's great.
Yeah.
Nintendo has been.
And
they should have cashed in on
Nintendo
DLC
can
for a
have
long time
Smash
ago.
Brothers run the entire duration of Wii U if they launch like 2-3 character packs right before convention season.
yeah,
They
or
could ride that completely.
or time it along with like Evo, major fighting game
yeah,
tournaments, because
absolutely.
it seems as though there's been a huge push in the fighting game community to get Smash Brothers, specifically Brawl at this point, though, back into the legitimacy scene. I think is the rising popularity with the new one coming out. So assuming the new one actually plays well enough to be tournament worthy, you will see, but they will probably base it around that. I know the development team is cognizant of tournaments, and that game is trying to be tournament viable in certain ways. I know they know that people are casually playing it, but you're going to see a lot of popularity with it specifically due to tournaments.
Absolutely.
So, there should, I don't think they'll release anything in the middle of the summer because that just breaks the game for tournament season. So
I mean, what else did they have this year in the lineup? Because we're running low on
yeah,
time.
I mean, like we already touched on, Hyrule Warriors due out real soon. That's going to be a good pickup for them. I mean, between now and the end of the year, it's really both Smash Brothers. I mean, that's the big get.
Yeah, well, let's go with, because Smash Brothers has been released to the 3DS in a preview mode.
Yep.
Okay, and how many people have broken their pads right off of their 3DSs? As a warning, do not get too
It could be
excited.
a ploy to sell more hardware.
Well, they did
This
just
is-
re-release the.
This is the first Smash Brothers on a portable platform.
Yeah, and you know what? Cliff gave me the opportunity last week to play it on his, and I don't like it.
Yeah, here's the thing. We both agree. They're making you use the circle pad that's built into the system for controls.
You can't
Now,
use the gamepad.
I didn't dive into any options. I don't know if there were any because I really just dove in and started playing it for a couple hours. And admittedly, I don't get paid to do this, so I've had to work since then.
Yeah,
but
sorry.
I don't believe there's a D-pad option. And I understand the game is a little, I guess, sort of pseudo three-dimensional. Not, I mean, again, I'm using the term really loosely.
Yeah.
But you don't need the circle pad. I want precise control. You've heard me many times say, F touch screens. I like precise control on this topic. And when a game like that, where you need to make some input commands pretty quickly, give me the D-pad option.
Yeah, I mean,
give me the D.
The one thing
Pad.
Nintendo is known for is D-pad.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
They don't, I mean, they're so known for it. Companies have approached them to use it in their hardware, and they say no.
Yeah.
Like, they would license the actual D-pads from them, and they will not do it. So, for them to force you to analog was like when I played, I believe it was Spirit Tracks on 3DS, and I'm like, oh, so I have to use the stylus to make Link move. Nope.
Yeah.
Close the system, return the game. No, I'm not doing that. That's why, again, circle back. The new 3DS Zelda, great.
Yeah.
I could use the D-pad if I wanted. So, that's a shame. And I just, like we both agreed, the control scheme does, aside from the D-pad, but the actual button scheme, at least the way it stands by default, doesn't really fit.
Doesn't work.
I don't think it really does fit. And my other friend who played extensively on Wii and also on GameCube,
yeah.
he said that the triggers were reversed for like dive and block, like the dive roll.
Yeah.
So they're probably working out some kinks with that. It was,
Well, I mean, the one thing I have to admit is Nintendo listens to feedback. Because going back to Mario Kart 8, when they went to the 2.0 version that fixed a lot of bugs in 8. You know, the one thing I know you'll relate when you play Mario Kart 8, you both will. When you're playing a cup, and it says it comes up with the menu after you beat the one race, and it goes view highlight reel, and then you have to go drop down one and hit next race.
I would like the default to next.
It is.
Yeah.
In 2.0, they changed
So
it.
they listen.
Thank
Yeah.
They are listening. So, will Nintendo be able to regulate Smash Brothers? I wouldn't hold your breath for 3 months until after it's released.
But they've started to set the precedent that they will release patches, and they're going to need to.
Yeah, they definitely
In
do.
today's day and age, if you don't release patches, people will just give up playing your game if they feel
Exactly.
it's broken.
Well,
So
and here's my thing is, does the Wii U have the memory built into it to house patching?
well, it depends on if the customers are actually using the hard drive to store their games if they're buying digitally, if they've added an SD card or an external
True.
hard drive.
But if you add an SD card for the digital stuff you download, it takes longer to load.
Of course. I don't yeah, I with a system like Wii U, I don't believe in digital downloads for full retail releases.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because the hard drive space, even if you buy the deluxe one, is 32 gigs. Their games are what, 2 to 4 gigs? They're not
Yeah.
like massive, but still, right, a DLC pack could be 500 megabyte to a gigabyte,
Yeah.
depending on the content. So, yeah, I think that I think as long as you buy the game physically, you're going to be just fine with the DLC.
32 gig will be enough for DLC.
But it just depends. I mean, they run sales though. That's a problem. They're emphasizing people to buy digitally.
Mm-hmm.
So that could get interesting. You're right. I mean, you could have, especially kids with
Yeah.
parents that may not be that tech savvy, or the kid's like, oh, I need to buy this,
I mean,
and it
here's your
just
credit
doesn't
card.
work.
I
Well,
mean,
it just
buy
doesn't
stuff.
work.
Keep busy.
Well, I'm looking at it from because I've only had a Wii U for about 2 months now, and it's only wireless. So I've been looking at the hardwire because there are some games that, I think the wireless just flakes out on.
Yeah.
So you hardwire it.
Yep.
Well, there's a whole community dedicated to USB adapters for hacking into the Wii U that work, but Nintendo's not released anything directly.
Yeah, because the regular Wii had Ethernet
Yes, it did.
adapter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that if they're really
But I would like to
approaching
see,
hardcore gamers, they're
Yeah.
going to need an Ethernet option because
Well,
people will not deal with lag
They're going
in
to need an
Smash
Ethernet
Brothers.
option. They're going to need if they're really pushing digital sales, they're going to need an external hard drive option.
Yeah. Just team up with SanDisk or
Yeah.
Western Digital and create
Absolutely.
an official one that's either piano black or white,
Yeah.
and it'll be 500 gigs because you won't need any more than that, even though you could easily offer it. Charge a 75% premium based on a pure 500 gigabyte drive.
Take a page out of Sony's book.
Right, and it'll sell. So, but yeah, they may get to that point. That's something that they must have on their roadmap if they're going to keep considering digital releases. And
Especially if they're going back to elite gamers, because let's face it, that's what Xbox and PlayStation have done thus far.
Yeah.
Is they don't care. They focus on the elite gamer. But now Nintendo's going to go, okay, if we're going to do that, you're going to have to up your graphics game.
Yeah, and that's the thing. First party titles,
Yeah.
Zelda looks like a gorgeous game.
Oh, it absolutely
Like it actually,
does.
it can hold its own from what we've seen too. A launch title, let's say,
Mm-hmm.
or even a first generation title on Xbox One or PS4. So they've had a head start, but that's still, it should. And Mario Kart's a gorgeous game too.
Oh yeah.
It is.
Slows
It
down
really
quite
is.
a bit. If you're playing locally with 4 players, it does. The frame rate chugs.
This frame
but,
rate goes down for.
but it still is art direction wise. Looks really good. So, I mean, is that about it for right now?
I mean, I think so. I don't know anything else.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to keep up to date on this, though, because we're all really big Nintendo fans. We're excited that they're actually seemingly getting their act together. The Wii U was a flop to start, and I guess to a lot of people, critically, it still is a flop.
Yeah.
But we've had a lot of good times in the past 6 months with that
yes,
system.
Yes, we have.
And we're big fans of it. We want to just see it do well. And we want some good
I do
games.
want to see some Legend of Zelda in a gold disc format.
Yes,
Yes.
that would be awesome.
That
you
would
are,
be awesome.
You are correct on that.
Solid gold.
So, all right, that about does
We
it.
need some
Yeah,
Smash Brothers.
I think we're good. Thank you for joining us for the special edition of Console Wars. I'm Cecil Blade,
I'm Cliff Huxtable.
Krackpype.
and we'll catch you guys later.